have to say.
Good evening. I'd like to call the village meeting of Monday, February 14th, 2022 to order. Will the clerk please call the roll? Present.
Present.
Here.
Here. Let's all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You have in your packets drafted the minutes from our previous meeting. Questions? Comments? If not, I would seek a motion to approve the minutes at this time. So moved.
Second.
Hearing a motion and a second, will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Reed?
Yes.
Commissioner Littlefield?
Yes.
Commissioner Polk?
Yep.
And Mayor Moore?
Yes. Recognition, proclamations, appointments, presentations. We have an appointment here of proposed appointment of Amanda Neely as trustee to the library board, expiring for a term expiring June 30, 2023. Amanda has been a resident of Palos Park for 35 years and is active in the community. Amanda would be an asset to the library board, not only for her commitment to volunteerism, but for her educational background and work experience as well. She holds a vast bachelor in business administration with a major in marketing and worked for a local not-for-profit, St. Coletta's of Illinois Foundation, for over 10 years, serving as the coordinator of public relations and special events. Amanda would fill the remaining term of Michael Tenora, who resigned from the library board last November. The board of trustees of the Palos Park Public Library voted unanimously at their December 15th, 2021 meeting to recommend the appointment of Amanda as trustee to the library board for a term to expire June 1st, 2023. So I would seek a motion to approve the appointment of Amanda Neely to the Palos Park Library Board of Trustees with a term to expire June 1st, 2023. So moved.
Second.
Hearing a motion in a second, will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Reed?
Yes.
Commissioner Littlefield?
Yes.
Commissioner Polk?
Yep.
Mayor Moore?
Yes. And motion carries. Thank you. Consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are routine or been brought forward at the direction of the Board of Commissioners and enacted with one motion. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. Item A, to adopt an ordinance to declare certain personal property owned by the village as surplus and authorizes the sale of same. The ordinance states the village has a 2008 Ford Expedition, which is no longer necessary or useful, and the best interest of the village will be served by the sale of same at the next available auction at Ritchie Brothers in Morris, Illinois for the best price offered. Item B, to approve payment of invoices on the warrant list dated February 14th, 2022 in the amount of $112,537.51. Item C, to approve the supplemental warrant list dated February 14th, 2022, checks, payroll, and recurring wire transfers in the amount of $512,855.52. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? So moved.
Second.
Hearing a motion in a second, will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Reed?
Yes.
Commissioner Littlefield?
Yes.
Commissioner Polk?
Yep.
Mayor Moore?
Yes. Motion carries. Any items of old business to be brought before the board? Information and updates, Public Works and Streets Recreation Report. Commissioner.
Thank you, Mayor Mahoney. I have a few items on the agenda. The first is regarding the purchase of a new generator for our 93rd Street lift station. A couple years ago, a car went off of 123rd Street and destroyed the control panel for the 93rd Street lift station. Our insurance paid the cost to install a new modernized control cabinet. At the time, we also had the contractor install conduit and a second concrete pad for a future generator. This lift station handles several homes near Mill Creek, and when power is lost for a prolonged period, Public Works must drive a generator to the site. So Public Works would like to purchase a new generator from Metropolitan Industries that will be wired and installed by Aries. The cost for the generator is $19,981, and the installation cost is $8,693.64, with the total cost for the new generator at $28,674.64. And we did put $40,000 in this year's budget to cover this cost. Does anybody have any questions regarding that?
I just have a quick question. So this is a generator that never existed here.
Correct.
That's all I have.
Yes. Excellent, so I'd like to make a motion to waive the bidding process and approve the proposals from Metropolitan Industries and Aries Incorporated in the amount of $28,674.64 to purchase and install a new generator for the 93rd Street lift station.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Walters?
Yes.
Commissioner Rea?
Yes.
Commissioner Polk?
Yes?
Mayor Mahoney?
Yes, and motion carries.
The next item I have is regarding the purchase of a new portable push camera. Public Works would like to purchase a new portable push camera to be used for televising storm and sanitary sewers in areas where vehicles cannot reach. Both the utility and street department use this camera when it is not possible to use the televising van. This camera will also work in smaller diameter pipes. Public Works received two proposals for the new camera. One proposal included extra options and was $16,670.07. And the second proposal included a 1-inch and 2-inch camera head, and the cost was $11,277.05. We did put $12,000 in the budget to cover this cost, so we're asking approval for the lower price proposal. Anybody have any questions? Now I'd like to make a motion to approve the proposal from Blue Book in the amount of $11,277.05 to purchase a new portable push camera.
Second. Hearing a motion and a second, will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Walters?
Yes.
Commissioner Rea?
Yes.
Commissioner Polk?
Yep.
Mayor Mahoney?
Yes, and motion carries.
And the last item I have on our agenda is regarding the purchase of a new sewage pump for the 91st Street lift station. Public Works would like to purchase a new pump for the 91st Street sanitary lift station. There is no spare for this location, and both pumps in this location are over 10 years old. The pumps in this station are ABS pumps supplied originally by Flow Technics. The price for the new pump is $6,696, and there's money in the budget to purchase this, which is also why I want to go with Flow Technics, because those are the pumps we already have. Any questions? Now I'd like to make a motion to approve the proposal from Flow Technics in the amount of $6,696 to purchase a new sewage pump for the 91st Street lift station.
Second. Hearing a motion and a second, will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Walters?
Yes.
Commissioner Rea?
Yes.
Commissioner Polk?
Yep.
Mayor Mahoney?
Yes, and motion carries.
And that concludes everything I have on the agenda. Just remind everyone, be on the lookout for the emails and stuff for the new spring classes and rec. And that concludes my report.
Commissioner Reed, Buildings and Public Property.
Thank you, Mayor Mahoney. If you hire landscapers to work on your house this spring and summer, please remember that they need to be registered with the village. The 2-page contractor registration form is to be filled out, the certificate of insurance submitted, as well as the registration fee being paid. Thank you for registering to work in the village. If you need assistance with the contract registration process, we call 708-671-3783. We'll be more than happy to help you out. During the time period of January 18 through February 8th, the building department processed 5 permits, resulting in $1,475 in permit fees. During the aforementioned time period, 14 inspections were also completed. I have another item up for your consideration this evening regarding PC 2017-03, approval of ordinance 2022-06, an ordinance providing for the further extension of the time period for compliance with section 1274.05, sub G as in George 4, of the village code by an additional 12 months. With respect to the commercial plan development approved pursuant to ordinance 2017-33, adopted December 11, 2017, entitled an ordinance approving a commercial plan development in the B2 General Retail and Wholesale Business District, granting commercial development construction and landscaping criteria approval, and granting certain landscaping variations in relation thereto, located at 9520 West 103rd Street.
131st.
What did I say?
103rd.
Okay, well, it's one of those.
It's all good.
We're here for you,
We
Commissioner.
do the best we can. And you'll tell them what I'm not saying.
Fair enough.
All right, I'm just putting you on.
Great to have you back, man.
Mayors do that to you sometimes. On December 11, 2017, the mayor and village council approved ordinance 201733. The application filed a building permit with the village on June 8, 2018, but the permit has not yet been issued due to unaddressed review concerns. Pursuant to the applicable section of the code, the approval becomes null and void if construction does not commence within 15 months of approval unless an extension is granted by the council. One-year extensions of the approval were approved on March 11, 2019, March 9, 2020, and March 8, 2021 meetings, which will now expire if another extension is not approved. An extension request may be granted by the council for written call shown by the applicant, provided a written request is filed with the village at least 4 weeks prior to the respective deadline. A letter requesting a 12-month extension was filed by the applicant with the village on February 4, 2022. In short, the applicant is requesting a 12-month extension. I don't believe there's anything the other proponent is not granting this extension. But prior to making the motion, I would ask if anyone has any comments or questions relative to that.
No, sir.
Hearing none, I move to approve ordinance 2022-06, an ordinance providing for the further extension of the time period for compliance with section 1274-05, G as in George 4, of the code by an additional 12 months with respect to the commercial plan development approved pursuant to ordinance 201733, adopted December 11, 2017, entitled an ordinance approving commercial plan development in the B2 General Retail and Wholesale Business District, granting commercial development, construction, and landscaping criteria approval, and granting certain landscaping variation in relation thereto, 9520 West 131st Street by College. And I will seek a second.
Hearing a motion and a second, will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Reed?
Yes.
Commissioner Walter?
Yes.
Commissioner Cole?
Oh, yes.
Mayor Mahoney?
Yes, and motion carries. I know when a lawyer gets a chance to say there too, it can kind of throw you off of everything else. It's the excitement created.
Look, when you're a retired lawyer, you get an opportunity to get up here and start spouting off at the mouth like that, you take that chance.
The only thing I missed, Commissioner, was the open paren.
So, look, I'll make sure I get that in there.
Thank you.
I'm looking
Close
at
the room.
Yeah.
I'm looking in my, I think that's all I have right now. Thank you, sir.
Thank you kindly. Commissioner Polk.
Present.
Not quite going in order.
Open paren.
Next commission.
There you go. We'll start with the police activity report from the 24th of January through the 13th of February, the year of our Lord 2022. Service volumes are starting to get back to historically traditional levels. At 2818 calls for service, we wrote 11 adjudication tickets and 7 traffic tickets, so that's wiggling up as well. Another 9 written warnings and 2 verbal warnings, took 33 case reports, 13 accident reports, arrested 2 adults, no juveniles, impounded no vehicles, and performed 9 senior checks and an additional 16 civil citizen assists. So that's what the Palos Park PD has been up to. A couple quick announcements. This is our first announcement for the 2022 Polar Plunge. The Palos Park Police Department traditionally participates in the law enforcement torch polar plunge, which seems to me is sort of a dichotomy there with torches and polar plunges. But this is a fundraiser that supports the Special Olympics in Illinois, which is a special interest of ours. We do several different fundraisers for the Special Olympics. And the polar plunge for us will be in Manteno. It's always a fun drive. The first Saturday in March, which is the 5th. And there'll be more information about how you can support the Palos Park Police Department and their plunge into Lake Manteno or whatever it's called. I see the chief is in the back there. You know, we had a rather successful year when we had the little contest between how much money I could raise and how much money the police department could raise, and perhaps we ought to reconsider that. I will take a look at the long-term forecast for March the 5th. Because if it's 5 degrees, you're on your own. And then I just want to make an announcement. We've gotten used to sort of strange and unusual national this, that, or the other day. We had National Pizza Day last week, and I'm looking forward to National Punchki Day, which will be March 1st. But on Thursday, February the 17th, which is coming up, is the National Random Acts of Kindness Day. So we'd encourage everybody to get behind our Palos Park Police Department goal to spread kindness by helping residents in the park. It's not just a one day, it's an each and every day thing for the Palos Park Police Department. But we'd like to use the Random Act of Kindness Day to inspire people to commit a random act of kindness, and I promise you will not be charged. So again, that is February the 17th, the year 2022. Chief Miller, do you have anything you want to add to the report today?
No.
Thank you for your service, sir, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner. Accounts and finances report. I assume we have nothing this evening. These are my report. We have on the agenda this evening consideration of an ordinance amending Part 6, Chapter 698, Part 8, Title 2, Chapters 804 and 808 of the Palos Park Village Code in regard to video gaming. The matter of allowing video gaming was discussed at the Village Council's meeting on October 28th, November 8th, and November 22nd, and December 13th of the year 2021, and January 24th of this year. Based on discussions at those meetings, the draft ordinance was modified to clarify issues raised by the mayor, the commissioners, and various members of the public. Language regarding signage or video gaming terminals being seen from outside the establishment was addressed. Gaming room or area where the video gaming terminals could be located are to be in a separate room or area within the establishment. Limiting approval to the Class G liquor license holder, charging an annual per terminal fee consistent with state laws, and prohibiting gaming terminal sounds from emanating outside of the gaming room or gaming area. The current Village Code, Chapter 698, prohibits video gaming. The Village Council adopted Ordinance 2010-01 on January 11, 2010 to ban video gaming in Palos Park. The Illinois Gaming Act is found in 230 ILCS 40/1 and enacted as Public Act 96-34 on July 13, 2009, allows for video gaming in the state of Illinois. In 2010, many of the communities surrounding Palos Park opted out of video gaming by passing ordinances like the one adopted by the Palos Park Village Council. Today, only the neighboring community of Palos Heights still prohibits video gaming. The draft ordinance before the village council would repeal 698 of the village code and add new sections to chapters 804 and 808. The ordinance, if approved, would create the ability for Palos Park Class G consumption on the premises of golf course liquor license holders the ability to apply for a video gaming license. Each qualified applicant could apply to the village council for approval to create a video gaming license. An adoption of the initial ordinance, at adoption of the initial ordinance, the number of video gaming licenses available would be 0. The draft ordinance would accomplish the following. Prohibit video gaming cafes where more than 49% of the revenues would be from video gaming. Allow for play of video games only during permitted hours of liquor sales. Video gaming terminals to be in a separate enclosed room or area restricted to persons 21 years of age and older. Allow for the total number of video gaming terminals per establishment at 6. Prohibit video gaming signage to be seen from the exterior of any establishment. Require video surveillance of the video gaming terminal with a minimum of 30 days of video recording storage. Each approved establishment will be required to have a direct connect burglar alarm system to the village's police department. Annually assess $100 per video terminal operating in the village of Palos Park in addition to the annual cost of liquor license and other licenses. Prohibit sounds emanating from any video gaming terminal to be audible outside of the gaming room or gaming area. The president of Cog Hill Golf and Country Club wrote a letter to the village of council dated January 18, 2022, expressing interest in having video gaming on their premises. Staff have reviewed data from the Illinois Department of Revenue for the municipal share of video gaming monies for the community of Alsip, Crestwood, Lamont, Oak Forest, Orland Park, Palos Hills, Willow Spring, and Ward in the period January 2019 to August 2021. The average annual municipal distribution per establishment in these 8 communities is $16,000. The average number of video gaming establishments per community is 23.63. Any questions, comments that any council member would like to make before?
Yes, I'd like to make a couple of comments. I am going to remove Conoco from the equation, because to me that's not relevant. I'm going to take the ordinance itself, which I think is well written, and I'm going to move that to the side as well. I know I'm a little late, but a little late than never. This is a major policy change that we're affecting. And the question I have is, what is the rationale, or what rationale has been articulated for folks to know why we're making a policy change? And I'm saying I'm adverse to it, but why are we doing it? Have we articulated the reason for the shift in policy? Be it change circumstances, be it revenue, be it something that the village wants. I looked in the documents before me, and because it was written by staff, they could not articulate a policy that hadn't been made. So all I'm saying is, a subsequent council can look back on our actions and say, why did they do this? I don't know the answer. So I'm just asking before we vote for somebody to tell me what's the driver behind the policy change? What's the rationale for it? What are the benefits? What are the detriments? Is this something that 4 people should be doing without additional input? I'm late. I'm just raising the questions. It's probably going to go through, and that's okay. But why? Why are we doing it? Because somebody asked for it? I just help me out. Let's flush it out and somebody tell me why we're doing what we're doing. Because I don't know. I don't. I'm Need some help.
So, as you know, this is an issue that we discussed for many months. In my view, it's one of the most difficult issues we face. And your question is an absolutely on-target question. And I think it is something that I'd like to hear people's thoughts on, but I will give you my thought. Why did we prohibit gaming in 2010? I think that's the first question I ask. And I think, for me at least, in my vote, it was that I did not want to be a first adopter in the community. My gaming was new. I wasn't particularly happy with the state's decision to legalize gaming in communities. And so, as a council, we voted in 2010 to prohibit it. So why the change? I think it comes down to a number of factors, which basically are about competitiveness of our businesses. Over the past 12 years, since we voted to prohibit video gaming, nearly every community surrounding us has considered the issue and adopted video gaming. So it puts our businesses at a competitive disadvantage vis-a-vis their neighboring communities. COVID pandemic happened. Many of these businesses faced very difficult times. So we're trying to assist these businesses with additional revenue sources that will hopefully change the calculus of, does the business open or does it not open in Galesburg? Does the business stay open or does it close? If you review carefully the information on the Illinois Gaming website for a small restaurant that serves alcohol, family restaurant that serves alcohol, these establishments can cover their rent and more in expenses. That changes the calculus. And so for me, I can only speak for myself and how I'm trying to navigate the issue. It is a difference maker and a tool that I would like to put in the hands of our businesses. That comes at caveats. Our residents are rightfully concerned about the prevalence of video gaming and the way the video gaming is conducted in neighboring communities. So that is a huge concern of mine. And so what this ordinance is designed to do is to make video gaming transparent, not designed so that residents who are not interested in video gaming can't see it. It's not visible to them. If they go into a bar, it should be in a place where if you want to have a drink and not gamble, you don't see it, you don't hear it. So, for me, taking away the objections that people might have regarding video gaming in our community. Is it still a tough issue? It absolutely is. But those kind of sum up why this ordinance has been brought to this point. I don't know if anyone else has anything that they'd like to add.
I'm happy to talk. You happy to talk?
I'll be very brief. Echoing a lot of the same things you just said. What was interesting when we were tightening this up as to you can't see it, you can't hear it. I went to a friend's breakfast restaurant that she owns, and we're talking, and I happened to mention what we're discussing. It's like, we have video gaming in the restaurant. I've been in there so many times, had absolutely no clue. It's not in our town, don't worry. But I had no idea it was there. But somebody who wanted to use it knew it was there and went and did what they do with it. And at this point, we're talking about the only golf course we have in town. Being able to maybe utilize this ordinance to their benefit. And our long cold winter slows down when golfing starts and things like that. So many other places I've been, golf courses have these sort of things, and it doesn't seem to be in your face. It doesn't seem to be, you have to go hunt it out. You have to seek it. You have to know it's there if you're going to participate. And that's kind of how I envisioned this would be. And although it's not, the idea of gambling was not something that we felt, was something this community wanted to rally around. I think it being taken care of in such a way that it's all tightly bound to certain expectations, I think will allow us to keep control over it, and people that are bothered by it probably won't even know it's there. And so that's my hope.
So I see this slightly differently, perhaps from a physician's perspective, not necessarily a councilman's perspective. You never want to be the first one to try a new treatment, and you never want to be the last one to try a proven treatment. So the fact that 12 years has elapsed is, I think, a significant component of considering visiting the opportunity to allow video gaming. It's also allowed a fairly diverse set of experiences to evolve as well. Quite frankly, driving down some of the arterial streets in our neighboring communities and seeing, dry cleaners and donut shops and God knows what else with, your laundry turned around in 24 hours and video gamble while you do it. It's not particularly attractive to me. And so to see the way that could be handled in a different manner that would perhaps facilitate businesses who are struggling either because of the acute nature of the way people are using those particular businesses at the moment, the opportunity to craft an ordinance that allows us to not have that represent the raison d'etre of business being in existence. So they have to hold a liquor license, they have to serve food, they have to have only a certain amount of their revenue derived from a source other than those two issues and still be able to thrive, I needed time in order to be able to see those sorts of things. So for me, it's difficult for us to have these discussions without violating the Open Meetings Act. So I really applaud the opportunity to be able to share in front of my colleagues the environment in which I was able to come to be able to craft some sort of decision about moving forward. As a result of not only input from each of you individually, but from the collective residents of the village who give us the privilege of being able to sit in front of them and craft these decisions. It's very healthy for me to be able to share those in an open sort of a forum. And last but not least, I keep coming back to a few other things that have been stated before, but I think they're worth saying again. We allow gambling in the park now. And we have for many years. So this might be a new method in which to gamble. But this is not something that has been forbidden in the park. You can gamble any day you want to at Walgreens or Jewel or the gas stations around. So the argument about somehow this is leading down the road of perdition is difficult for me to be able to sustain. And the second is, I was elected to serve the people, but not in a moral capacity. We are not the moral police. And so being able to move forward, support local businesses where support is certainly needed, particularly in certain types of businesses, crafting an ordinance that allows people who might support video gambling, might not support video gambling, enjoy the opportunity that that business would be able to forward to them. It has taken a process and a fair amount of time in order for, at least as a council person, to see this as something that was unnecessary, to see this as something which could conceivably be useful and may actually be able to preserve businesses that we'd like to see stay in the park. So with that as a ramble, those would be my rationales for why this commissioner is willing to relook at this 12 years after the law was passed in Illinois.
And I certainly appreciate all of the comments. Transparency to me it's a goal, and I think it's been accomplished in the document. Competition, there's only one entity that we believe is asked for, the golf course. There's only one golf course in Palos Park, so I don't know where the competition is for them, unless it's people in the surrounding areas not in Palos Park offering video gambling. That's the only competition I can see. If we are going to take the position that, as a council, we believe in the 12 years that have passed, changed circumstances has caused us to relook at this issue. We believe in order to provide our businesses with a competitive level playing field, we believe that in order to protect the interests of our residents, we have crafted a document that is transparent. I mean, an overall global statement that says what the heck we are doing. That's all I was asking for, and that's not here. And we need to be able to tell people what we're doing and why we're doing it. That's all.
Agreed.
That's point number one. Point number two, I talked to people in my neighborhood in the Dells. All of them said no to this. They heard the reasons. I didn't ask for them. I'm not the moral police. People believe what they want to believe. They looked at me when I asked the question. They looked at me in the eye and said, we don't want it. I can't look them in the eye and tell them, look, I don't care what you think. I don't roll with it. And number three, ability to apply, section 808.30810. Oh yeah. We're gonna do some work here tonight, right now. I'm a little late to the party, but a little late tonight. Once you got there, the question I have, the language there seems to apply to new applicants. who are seeking a liquor and gaming license. How do the entities that currently exist, the 5 Class A's and the 1 Class G, how do they apply? You know, I asked this question a couple of meetings ago when I said, well, they should at least ask us. I mean, send a letter, send an email. That was my intent, or that was my trigger to somebody to say, we don't have an application process. So how do they do it? We don't know. So, you know, those are the 3 items that I wanted to address. I think that needs to be tightened up because right now, it doesn't apply to anybody but new people. The way I read it, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not playing one. Right? I don't want to make fun, anything like that. So, you know, those are the items. The big one to me, though, is let people know why we can change the map. If that's asking for a lot, then I'm sorry. We got to do it. I think it's the right thing to do. Let people know what we're doing, why we're doing. We owe that to them as public service. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm done.
Well, I don't think we disagree, Darrell.
Mayor's kick in and I started going crazy. That's all I got.
Thanks, Commissioner Reed. So I have a question then. I thought that the way that the application had to go forward was that an interested party, either holding the current liquor license or coming in without any standing in terms of liquor license, had to reapply for a liquor license and a video gaming license. That's the way I read this. I could be incorrect.
That's how you read 803-18?
That's how I read it.
This is a new liquor license altogether. So they have to come in and apply for a new GVG liquor license. It's a whole new class of liquor license. So they would have to follow the same application procedures for a liquor license for a GVG, but they'd also have to meet all the requirements for that are specific to the GVG liquor license.
Okay, then I read the language is only applying to new, but you're taking the position, we're taking the position that this language here applies to everyone who wants to get either an A or a G. They've got to go through the process as a new applicant.
I take
Well,
it as
careful.
it's a new applicant for a GVG. There's only golf video gaming, not a video gaming. So there's only available to golf, and if you want that, it's a whole new license.
I got that, but
Yeah.
okay, you're setting precedent. So if you're going to do that for Gs, when Yas come in, what are you going to do? Is that the same principle you're going to follow? I know it's premature,
Yeah,
but you know, you're going to say, if you did this for them, you probably got to do that for them. That's,
if one decides
Yeah.
that those type of licenses should be eligible.
okay, but I understand it's golf only.
Yeah.
So I'm back to the question. This applies to everybody.
It does. It's a whole new class of liquor license. So imagine, even if it was in GVG, call it X or Y, it's a brand new liquor license that anybody who wishes to receive it would have to go through the application process.
And the only ones eligible under this XYZ GVG is somebody who has a golf course
Correct.
that wants to offer video gaming. So if someday in the future, we wanted dry cleaners to be able to do video gaming, we would have to, just using what you were talking about, you'd have to create something new again, correct? Okay.
So I'm trying to stay away from targeting this as a special interest ordinance. So that's why I said put the golf club over to the side, because I don't want to go there. Let's just talk principle, okay? This principle will apply to any entity that currently has golf.
But it applies in the whole.
Okay, yeah, I got that.
Okay.
I got that.
So liquor,
Yeah, I got it.
X amount of revenue, the ability to be able to follow the direction of how it's going to be constructed, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, all right.
I just want to make sure that we're not throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
No, and I don't have any qualms. My question was whether or not this section applied to new applicants only. And now I'm being told that any entity right now, G, that wants to get this has to come in as a new applicant.
That's the way I understand.
And even though the G may have a liquor license today, they still gotta follow the new process that we will outline in this document.
If they
If it's
want,
approved.
if they want video cameras.
Asking the questions, following up.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
Because sometimes this stuff ain't real clear, and people out there may want to know what it is we're doing. So, I'm sorry for no mention, but sometimes elementary.
No, not at all.
No, it's better. It's better. People can follow it. It's been in our heads for months and months and months. So,
While we're still on the subject, there are other components to this that we haven't talked about. And that is that once the entity is identified, the entity jumps through the hoop of applying for the new GVG license, they still have a review process that has to be met and approved in order to be able to actually have customers have access to the video gaming. So there's an inspection process, there's a plan process, all of those pieces also have to be fulfilled in order for them to actually begin that activity in their particular establishment. So there are different levels of checks and balances here as well. So they don't just get their GVG license and it's Katie bar the door. They get the VGV license for the privilege of being able to now resubmit plans for, well, what are the video games going to look like? Where are they going to go? What's the room look like?
Right.
What's the other environment that fulfills all the other criteria for the gaming to actually occur? So it's not a one and done kind of a process.
It's a very well-written document that includes an awful lot of hurdles or steps that an applicant has to go through in order to be able to offer the service. And you're not going to hear me ever say that the ordinance is badly written, because it is not. I think it's very technical. Changes that we made. My question is what the policy.
Understood, but since we're trying to, in the interest of transparency, I want to be transparent so that the team understands, the village understands, that it doesn't end with the issuance of a license. It ends with the completion of the process.
Well, and the license would actually, any applicant, once everything gets the approvals, will have to come back before the council to actually have the ordinance change to allow for one. Right now, this just creates a class, but it allows for zero GVG licenses. So it'll have to come back before the council to increase that to one,
Or whatever.
so that it could be issued.
Thank you.
Something like that.
There's one other issue in this ordinance that I would like your input, and that is if you look at 808.30A9, and this has to do with who approves the site plan, including the proposed location of all video gaming terminals. And as it presently stands, this ordinance provides that the village manager or its designee approves that plan. I ask all of you, and this is something that I've had put a lot of consideration to. And frankly, I have questions about whether that should be the village council or its designee.
Village council, standing with a question for me. Village council is designated, period, strike, replace village manager with village council.
So,
We can hand it off if we want to, but we should have the authority.
would this run much like planning commission reviews it and then it comes to us after that, or?
no, it would be village council. I mean, one of the issues here
I was
is
just curious.
the administration of the process and not having it take an excessive length of time. So I don't know that we need to have the plan commission review it and then the village council review it. But, so what does that mean, village council or designate? We can only designate by action. right, so it requires a meeting. Even if we were to, so approved by village council means taking an official action. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think these plans and the sensitivity of our residents to video gaming in general dictates that the village council.
It's new, the onus should be on us. After a while, if we go through the process, we decide that we want to change this, we have the authority to do it. But I think for right now, just to give comfort to everybody, we ought to have the wheels, we ought to be driving the bus, and that's.
Second.
That's it, my opinion.
Is that a change that we can make at this meeting and still,
Yeah, you can make it as part of the motion, just to amend that specific section.
so it would simply say village council or designate?
You could just leave it as village council. And then if in the event in the future you want to change it, you could just do that the same way you've done with Mason, so you just change the ordinance.
Well, let me ask you, if you don't include or designate right now, and it came up and we discussed it, and then we said, oh, we want Rick to go out and approve it, we're designating him. If it already includes designate, then we don't have to redo a whole ordinance, right?
True. But if if you want to move that on to staff at some point, it'd probably be cleaner just to make that, that change in the ordinance.
Especially since it's just starting out. I think the initial first few, if there are more, should be coming before. So you're going to still have to approve the license application, creating that license. So it can be done at the same time.
Right.
All right, any other questions, thoughts?
I guess just right on the same, just so I understand what we're talking about. This would be like, they come with plans and we go out there and take a look and look at the plans on site and all that stuff. That's what we're talking about doing, right? Is that what
Well,
we're implying here, saying that we do? Or is like-
we're going to get a plan,
Yeah,
and we will have that in our packet
yeah.
with a staff report, and we will consider it in an open meeting with the village.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I mean, that's the only way we can act.
Right, I think staff would review the application, ensure compliance, and then we come before the board, the council for your, formal review and approval.
But like no different than right now, if I want to drive out to a location and check all this stuff out ahead of time, obviously we can't all go together because that would violate Open Meetings Act, but I go and I do that and
It
it's
probably
just-
wouldn't be built though.
Built, yeah.
No, but if you want to see exactly, put in perspective where they're talking about or something, like, sometimes looking on paper,
Right, for some people, looking at architectural drawings is like,
For some people listening to
sometimes I don't know where up and down are, so, it's better to walk in and let gravity help you with that one.
Not that that's
so.
gonna make it any easier. I call the question.
does anyone else have any thoughts before we,
Doesn't matter.
so I would entertain a motion at this point? And I'll entertain a motion to approve ordinance 2022-04 and ordinance amending part 6, chapter 698, and part 8, title 2, chapters 804 and 808 of the Vales Park Village Code in regard to video gaming with the amendment that section 808.30, A, subset A, subsection 9, be amended to delete village manager or designee and replace it with village council.
I'll make the motion.
Do you have a second?
I'll second it.
Hearing a motion and a second, will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Milovich Walters,
Yes.
Commissioner Polk,
Yes?
Commissioner Reed,
For the people of the Dalles, I have to say no.
Yes, and motion carries, I believe.
Yes.
3 votes.
3 votes.
So, that's all I have on my report. Clerk Eric Mooney, do you have anything this evening? Manager Bain,
I have nothing.
thank you. All right, I have a few announcements. So the Historic Preservation Committee will not meet on February 15th. The Library Board will hold a regular meeting on Wednesday, February 16th at 5 p.m. The Palos Fine Arts Committee will not meet on Thursday, February 17th. The next scheduled meeting is March 17th, 2022. The Plan Commission will not have a meeting on February 17th as there are no agenda items. So, further announcements. KN95 Mass. Back in the day, Mary O'Connor would have donned these masks for me, but the Village of Palos Park has received a supply of KN95 masks and are making them available to our residents. If you need masks, please come to the Capture Administrative Center between the hours of 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. We will be distributing 2 masks per resident while all supplies last. New businesses on behalf of the Village of Palos Park would like to officially welcome 2 new eating establishments to our wonderful business community. Flying Hog, located at 11901 South 80th, serving fast, casual, incorporating Polish, Asian, and Tex-Mex, and Lou's House Japanese Restaurant, located at 12300 South Oak Range Road. We are very pleased that these businesses chose to invest in Palos Park, and we'd like to remind residents to continue to shop and dine in the Village of Palos Park. Local merchants, many of whom are residents, are here to meet the needs of your family. This is a great way to keep businesses thriving and keep the sales tax you pay in your own community. These really are fine places. If you haven't tried Flying Hog, very interesting cuisine, quite good. We've been to Lou's, I think, 5 times now. I still haven't gotten around to the hibachi. The sushi I had a little bit of, it was wonderful. Really nice addition. The restaurant design is gorgeous. So please patronize those restaurants. McCord Gallery and Cultural Center is currently showcasing an exhibition of artwork by the students at Palos School District 118 East, West, and South. This exhibition is free and open to the public and runs through Friday, February 18th. More information on this exhibit and other offerings at McCord Gallery can be found at www.mccordgallery.org. Palos Village Players. Palos Village Players Theater Group was founded in 1941. They produced their first play in the spring of 1942. These community volunteers have produced plays nearly every year since that time. Tickets are now available for the production of The 39 Steps, a suspense parody. Performances will take place at the Palos Recreation Center the weekend of February 18th to 25th. Ticket information can be found at palosvillageplayers.com. Thank you for supporting the arts in our community. Hopefully, we'll all get to this wonderful play. I'm very excited. We will be there this weekend. Citizens and visitors comment period. Anyone from the audience like to address the council at this time? Hearing no such request, I would entertain a motion to adjourn our meeting this evening.
So moved.
Second.
Hearing a motion in a second, will the clerk please call roll?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, and motion carries. Thank you all and good evening.
Be safe out there.